Today we're working on the sixth set of notes and we're going to be dividing polynomials. We're going to be doing the set of notes for 3 different days because we're going to talk about 2 different types of ways to divide polynomials. So today we're going to focus on long division. Tomorrow will be synthetic, and then that next day we're going to talk about applications and how you would see it on the part. So before we actually start the problem, we have to talk about how to do long division with just numbers to make sure we still remember how to do that. So when I look at this problem, I'm taking 4 into 128, and we kind of work in stages. So I figure out how many times does 4 go into 12, and I can take 4 into 12 3 times evenly. Then we do 3 times 4, and I write this 12 down here, and then we subtract. I have 0, and now I drop the 8, and now I say, okay, well, how many times does 4 go into 8 evenly? 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. Again, we subtract, and I get no remainder. So the answer is 32. So that's an example of no division. This is something that you just kind of can look at. You don't need to write this down. Again, second example here, you don't need to write this down, just kind of follow. So I figure out how many times does 3 go into 19 evenly. So 3 goes into 19 evenly 6 times. 3 times 6 is 18. You subtract. So I have a 1 left over. And now I drop the 9. And again, 3 goes into 19 evenly 6 times. 3 times 6 is 18. And I have a remainder of 1. So since I have a remainder of 1, I'm left with 1 over what I was dividing by. So I would say that my answer is 66 1/3, the 3 coming from this right there. So now we're going to take this and apply it to polynomials, meaning we're going to take the same process and divide with variables. Okay, so now we're going to again apply this to a polynomial. So notice this is divide x squared minus 3x minus 40 by x plus 5. So I'm going to put my x squared minus 3x minus 40 underneath the division bar, and the x minus 5, or x plus 5, sorry, goes on the outside. So I figure out, it should be squared there, so x goes into x squared evenly x times. So I'm going to put an x up here. And now I'm going to distribute that x to this x plus 5. So x times x is x squared, and x times 5 is 5x. And now we're going to subtract this entire quantity just like I would have done with the regular division with numbers. So x squared minus x squared, they're gone, they canceled. Negative 3x minus this positive 5 is going to be a negative 8x. And now I'm going to drop this negative 40. And now I say, okay, well, x times what would give me negative 8x? And that would be negative 8. So I'll write the negative 8 up here. And again, we distribute it to both of these. So I'll have a negative 8x minus 40. And I'm subtracting this entire quantity. So notice my negative 8x minus this negative, that'll turn into plus, so the 8x's are gone. Negative 40 minus negative 40 is 0. So I'm left with no remainder. So my answer is x minus 8. Okay, so let's try another one. So here, it's written a little bit differently, but it implies the same thing. I want you to divide x squared minus 3x plus 1 by an x minus 4. So my x minus 4 is on the outside, and the x squared minus 3x plus 1 is underneath. So again, we start by saying, well, x times what would give me x squared? And the answer would be x. And then I multiply it back, so x times x is x squared. X times negative 4 is minus 4x. And now I subtract the entire quantity. It's very important that you put parentheses on there because you're subtracting the quantity. So x squared minus x squared, that's gone and cancels. Negative 3x minus a negative 4x. Well, that minus negative 4 is going to turn into a plus. It's going to be a positive. So negative 3x plus 4x will leave me with a positive x plus 1. So x times what would give me x? Well, that would be a positive 1. 1 times x is x. 1 times negative 4 is negative 4. And I'm subtracting this quantity. The x's will cancel. 1 minus a negative 4 will be a positive 5. So the way we write our answer is x plus 1, and now I have a remainder of 5, and that 5 is left over from what we divided by, of that x minus 4. So that's our final answer. So we'll try one more together, and then we'll pick up with this tomorrow in class doing board work. So here we have x squared plus 3x minus 12, and I want you to divide it by an x minus 3. So same thing, we put our x minus 3 on the outside, x squared plus 3x minus 12 underneath. Okay, so we say x times what would give me x squared, and that would be an x. And then I distribute it to that outside quantity, so x times x is x squared. X times negative 3 is a negative 3x. And again, we're subtracting this quantity. It's very important. Parentheses. X squared minus x squared. They're gone. 3x minus a negative 3x. That double negative is going to turn it to a plus. So I have 6x, and I drop the 12. Okay, so now x times what would give me 6x? That would be a positive 6. Again, we distribute. So now I have 6x minus 18. And I'm subtracting, so my 6x's cancel. Negative 12 minus a negative 18, so it's essentially negative 12 plus 18. So we have a remainder of 6. So we would write our answer as x plus 6 over x minus 3. And that would be our final answer. Alright, so we'll pick up with board work on this tomorrow. Make sure you jot down any questions that you have.